Welcome back to another video within the Unfiltered Trading series. Now, if you've not watched the previous liquidity videos that I've posted within the series, then I would suggest you start with that and then come back to this one, because this is sort of a continuation of the whole liquidity part. And we're going to piece it together here and look at some chart examples as well. I'd suggest start from there and then come back to this one. Okay, now, you know how they say trend is your friend, okay? It's a catchy tagline, but to be honest, trend can take a back seat, okay? Because liquidity is what is your, actual friend. As a matter of fact, it should be your best friend, okay? Now, before we get into the charts, we're, starting off with a diagram. And I know some of you might be tempted to actually just move to that part right away, but understand the concept I'm trying to explain through this diagram, understand the narrative I'm building, because it's going to help you understand liquidity in the form of traps and of course inducements following that. Now, this is where the foundation basically gets built. You can look at setups on the charts all day, but if you don't understand the logic behind what you're seeing, you're just guessing, okay? So let's break this down properly. Now, the first thing we're going to do is basically identify the level of liquidity, okay? And I might actually pop up a checklist on, on the screen for you guys to utilize in the future to understand it better. But that's the first step, okay? Identifying the level of liquidity. Now, on the diagram, you can see that we've had a high printed in the market. Price moved bearish, okay? Then it made a bit of a pullback where it respected the previous high, right? And then it continued towards the downside. Now, this previous lower high, right? This one here, that is where you will have liquidity sitting right above it, okay? We know there are, at the pullback, people got into some sort of sell positions. There are stops resting, above this level here, above this level here, right? So simple as that. There's liquidity resting above that. There's orders that were placed above that. So, that's sort of a good target to have for the future. Now, from this point on, price delivers bearish. It sweeps another form of liquidity. So we also have a bearish break of structure. And then let's say it pushes further down and it taps into another form of liquidity. Could be a previous day low, could be a session low, as long as there is some sort of liquidity that has been swept. So at this point here, basically the price starts to, deliver bullish, okay? Price starts to make a high, a low, another high, which pushes the price down to sweep this structure low here, right, with this move to the downside, right? Now, this is where most of the traders, they get wrong, okay? This new low here is taking out what looks like a structure low to the left, to the retail traders, right? They see that this sweep here, basically, it means that, price will make a bit of a pullback to continue bearish, okay? But look at what actually happens, right? Price uses this sweep of liquidity to basically flush out the early buyers. Whoever was buying from this point on, right, with this push up, with this bullish break of structure, they all got taken out, right, with this push down. So it flushes out the buyers, collects their liquidity, right, and then drives back to the upside. Now, you need to also understand that this kind of push down where it sweeps some sort of liquidity is not just going to come out of a random price point. It most likely is that, it has hit some sort of point of interest for the retail traders where you got some sort of a reaction to the downside, only for, the price to push higher again. As the price starts to push higher, right, after sweeping this liquidity point here, right, we know that, once price is creating higher highs and higher lows, higher low is respecting the previous low, respecting the previous low. Basically, we have some sort of more liquidity resting here, right, like a trend line resting here. Now, price pushes higher and starts approaching the level of liquidity we identified at the top, right? These previous lower highs, basically. What the price now does is within this zone, right, it might actually give you a reaction. And this happens quite often as well, right? When price is approaching a supply or a demand zone, right? In this case, maybe even an order block, actually, it will give you some sort of a fake reaction. So when price taps into this zone here, right, you might get a fake reaction like this towards the downside. And your instinct here might be, to sell. That reaction, towards the downside actually looks real, right? it might be even an impulsive move to the downside, right? But here's the thing. We already know that there is liquidity sitting right above these highs, okay? And with this push down, right, with this bit of a sell-off, I bet, you know, there's more traders that go into some sort of selling position where the stop loss is resting within this zone here. So what the market is actually doing is basically printing higher high, pulling back, inducing sellers into short position, and engineering more liquidity, right, above that high, right? So basically making the trap even stronger, right? Now, every time the price respects these highs, every time this high here is respected, it is not for you to get into any sort of sells. It's not a reversal signal. It's the market building fuel for the move up. If the price actually continuously respects this level, makes more higher lows, higher high, higher low, right? It's basically, you know, that's just sort of like a confirmation for you that the liquidity is still present above for you to target. Now, when does the trade actually, you know, happen, right? We've built the narrative, we've identified the traps, we've understood what, you know, this price leg is doing. When do we actually get into some sort of trade? Only when we have some sort of early buyers taken out. When you see this sort of trend line, you know, your first go-to reaction should be that I want this entire liquidity, right, to be taken. Once it's taken, then I would get into some sort of buy position and target this entire trap. Okay, if you're trying to actually buy off while some of the trend line is left, maybe just one of the higher lows is taken, then it is, again, you know, you're trading patterns. That's not what we do, right? We want to make sure the entirety of the build-up is taken. Once that is taken, so let's say price comes down, induces that trend line, right? That is when you can actually get into some sort of buy position, right? So there's basically two solid ways of entering the market. As soon as you have some sort of sweep of liquidity, right, you can enter for some sort of a buy position right here, putting your stop loss at this protected, and then you can target the trap. Okay, that's the first way of entering. The second way is that, let's say, your you know, risk to reward is not good because this protected might be a bit too far away, and you don't have anything closer to actually make your stop loss a healthy amount of points. As soon as, you know, the liquidity sweep happens, you can wait for another entry model to happen. It could be a manipulation entry model where you have some sort of a build up on your entry time frame, inducement of that, and then you can enter. It could be divergence. So it all depends on your plan, basically. Okay, so you can wait for a new confirmation here, and then you can get into some sort of buy position targeting this trap. Now, the key lesson here, right, is this: the entry only exists because of the trap that came before it. Without this liquidity being engineered here, without this false moves happening, right, there is no setup, right? So don't jump in early because, you know, some sort of, let's say with this push up, some sort of high was induced, so you should get into some sort of sells. Don't do that, right? Don't trade like a retail trader. Put some logic behind your setups, right? Don't just trade because you see some sort of pattern or you're getting the itch to enter the market. Wait for your setup. Right? Once you wait for it, I promise you, you will be rewarded, right? The market will reward you for your patience and for actually taking trades that are A+. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to look at a trade example. This is from, I think, 2 weeks ago on NQ. We're going to read the price, understand the traps, the same way, we've done it on the diagram. And we're going to see the direction and how we could have actually entered for the trade. Okay, now this is right here before the 9:30 open, so I've actually backtracked the price a bit. Just understanding on 15 minutes what the liquidity, what sort of liquidity has been induced. I'm going to look at first this side here, then understand what this low did, and then we're going to read the price here. Okay, so just understanding this swing high, I want to see to the left what it actually took. If it took some sort of good liquidity for it to actually push lower, or we could push higher. Now, as we can see, this is the high is swept, but we can see that there is more liquidity resting above this, right? Remember when the lower high was respecting the previous lower high? Right? This is literally the same case here, right? This lower high respecting the previous lower high, respecting the previous lower high, which basically means there is liquidity above this, right? The move to the upside is not done yet. So I'm just going to drag this to the right hand side, and we're going to make sure that we know what the you know, the objective of the market is for our session potentially. Okay. Now we know that there's liquidity, you know, resting above this, right? Because this swing point respected the previous one, respected the previous one. So there's sort of a trend line building there as well, right? Price pushes down, right? And what does it do when it pushes down? It actually sweeps all these lows here. Okay, so we had a bit of a trend line here. Same situation, sort of in worst, if we actually understand these lows, where, you know, the low was respecting the previous low, respecting the previous low, and that was a trap. You know, that was a sort of engineered liquidity resting right there. So what does the price do? At the open, price drops, takes all this liquidity, right, and starts to push higher. I know that this swing point here is much stronger. It can hold itself. The objective of it is not yet complete, because as we've already identified, you know, the target is to the upside. Okay, so the objective of this liquidity sweep, this low here, is to actually take the trap above. Okay, and what's a plus point here? Because we have an opening gap, this entire thing, this, you know, this gap you see, that's the opening, the weekly opening gap, right? The weekly opening gaps, they act like magnets. Okay, when you have an opening gap, know that the price will want to fill that in as soon as possible. That's just how the price works. Okay, so knowing that we have that gap as well, that sort of is another confluence that we should be bullish. All right, now let's actually understand what the price is doing here. So now what's happening is we have a bit of a choppiness happening. Okay, again, a bit more choppiness. Price pushes higher, fills out a bit of a gap, right? We have bullish break of structures happening throughout. What does these bullish break of structures mean? That early buyers are getting into the market. Now there's two reasons I call them early buyers. Okay, firstly, it's outside the trading window, right? This is not, you know, the NYC Open, the New York window. And secondly, you know, we've not had any solid sweeps of liquidity to the downside to push the price higher. Okay, so there's no liquidity grab happening for the price to push higher. All right, so this bullish break of structure is most likely, you know, getting the early buyers in, only to sweep their liquidity for the price to get pushed higher, right? And this is exactly what happens, right? Price pushes higher, comes down, sweeps this low here, where the stop losses of many of the buyers might be resting, right? Once the sweep happens and we have another bullish break of structure here, what does this low become? This becomes a protected low, right? Just as shown, you know, just as we discussed in the diagram. This becomes a protected low. Ideally, I want the protected to be respected, right? At least till, you know, this trap is still present for us to target. Okay, so we had inducements of early buyers, price pushes higher. Now at this point here, I'm going to drop down to M1, and I want to see if, you know, there's more liquidity that could be swept from the downside to push the price higher. Okay, because we know that NYC Open, it is the manipulation part. So I want to see if there's more liquidity, you know, the open can manipulate for us to actually get into some sort of buys to target this trap. At this point here, right, we know that price is creating higher highs and higher lows, right? If we just come down and look, you know, backtrack a bit, we see this low here. So we had bullish break of structures happening. Okay, so we had a bullish break of structure, price comes down, sweeps these lows here, right, and then pushes higher one more time. Okay, making this another protected on the M1 time frame. Okay, so we have another protected here. Now at this point here, again, ideally I would want this protected to be respected by the price. So at the open, right, if we get some sort of manipulation, this is what I want. I want this low here, I want this low, and then eventually I want this low here to be taken out by the price at the open, respecting this bit here. Okay, as soon as I get some sort of manipulation, I'm going to enter right away for some sort of buys, and then we can target the trap. So let's see what the open does, right? We're going to play the price a bit. Goes up, all right, comes down. Oh, okay, right. So at this point here, when we had either this sweep of liquidity or this one, I would have entered, right? I would have placed a trade like this here. Let's say I entered here, stop loss at this, protected, and then, you know, target the trap that we set above, right? If, let's say, for example, the trap is too far away, let's calculate the points actually. So from this point here, the trap is actually 285 points away, right? Now that move can happen in the day on NQ, especially, you know, because it is a very explosive volatile asset. But you should always target something internally first. You could either have a mechanical approach where you have a set risk to reward 1 to 3 you're all out, or maybe you should find something internally to the left. Okay, maybe we could say that, okay, I want to target the entirety of this trap, so this could be your first target. Okay, this could be your second TP, and then eventually if you want to hold it, you can hold it all the way to the trap. Okay, so this would have been the first way of entering. There is also another way that you could have entered, and this is where for instance, if you need another confirmation and you're not too sure whether this protected is going to hold or not, or if the protected is too far away and your risk to reward is a bit messed up because of how far it is, then you can eventually find another entry model. Here I can see we have also got some sort of imbalance that gets inversed. Okay, so we also have inverse fair value gap that you could have entered on. Now this candle here very volatile, right? So by the time you actually entered, your risk to reward again might be too massive, right? But as long as you follow your plan, that should be okay, right? And so that's your second way of entering the price, right? And if you were actually, let's say, targeting the entire trap, let's just drag it all the way up, right? I'm gonna see if the price actually goes on to hit the trap, and there you have it, right? Now it took this trade almost 6 hours to hit TP, right? Became an intraday trade as well. Now if that's your plan, of course, like, stick around, hold this till your TP gets hit, but you always need to have a break even set. You should probably take partials as well if your risk to reward is too big. So now this one here is 1 to 11, right? So I would 100% advise take partials, trail your stop loss if you can, and then wait for your target to get hit. Now what I've done is I've also created a checklist that you can find in my free Discord. The link to that is in the description below, and you can join the group. It's absolutely free, and you can find the checklist there, and much more value within that group as well. This is what I call my liquidity trap system, right? And honestly speaking, it is one of the most powerful ways to actually trade. What I want you to do is go into your charts, pull up any asset you like to look at, right, and back test this using what I've covered today, and including the other liquidity videos within the series. Study how often the market engineers liquidity before making the real move, how many times it actually sets up traps for the retail traders only for them to get taken out, right? So once you start seeing it that way, I'm telling you, you won't be able to unsee it. You will not go back to any other way of trading it. Now if you found this video and the breakdown helpful, please leave a like and a comment down below. Subscribe if you haven't, and comment any topics that you want me to actually cover next. And I read every single one of your comments, so let me know your thought process down below. We are actually getting close to the end of the series, so whatever takeaways you've had from this series, let me know in the comments below. Okay, and trade safe, and I will see you in the next one.